Hello folks, well welcome to this edition of Reflections with the Rwtr. This one is not like the previous one where they've been kind of out in the disc stuff. This one actually, process started a long time ago, but then it got really serious. April the 24th, 2021. Rwtr Championship Wrestling was under new management, and they were going to crown a new heavyweight champion via a 20-man rumble, where this old man happened to be a last-minute surprise entrant. And not only that, this old man actually won the Rwtr Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Some might felt like it was a fluke, because if you know my history, I thought I was done in 2017. So to have this old man to come out of retirement, nope, I'm still in retirement. You can say this was the start of what is maybe a kickoff to the Encore Preservation Tour. But yes, some of you might felt like it was a fluke, but to me, it hit on a more personal level. It gave me something in somewhat common with those people I grew up watching on TV, and not just watching on TV, but eventually, because this thing we call pro wrestling is so crazy, I took those very same people who were the GCW heavyweight champion and got to know them more personal level through time and stuff like that. I'm talking about people like the one man who made me want to be a wrestler, Miss Wrestler 2, Tommy Wildfire Rich, Roberto Soto, Crazy Luke Graham, Buddy Colt, the Madman from Sudan, the Abdul the Butcher himself, the man you see me, emulate him, who also was my boss for a little while, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and a man who had a hand in my training, the Matt Superstar. So winning this title was a big deal. But then 3 months later, I lost the belt. So that I only had 2 successful title defenses, and then maybe I actually started thinking maybe being the champion was a fluke too. I licked my wounds, and shortly I entered into a tournament to crown the GCW Brass Knuckles champions, which I won the following year in January, around my brother's birthday. It was pretty cool stuff like that. So I held that for a while, and then titles come and go, stuff like that. But back in my mind, not being a successful Rwtr Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion was eating away at me and stuff. And you may ask, what was so special and what was so different about this one title? See, I've been blessed, I've been lucky, and whatever to have my fair share of championship belts, but you see, this very one was just a little bit more, meant a little bit more, and maybe wanted a lot more. And then that's because my first taste and introduction to this thing called pro wrestling was based off a series of 3 letters. The first one being TBS, the station that aired the wrestling show. NWA. Don't say much about that, do I? And then Rwtr Championship Wrestling. So see, to go from a little bitty fan watching these guys on TV, and then getting to know them more on a personal level, but then actually become the Rwtr Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, don't really have the right words to do it justice to what it meant to me personally. So losing it was bad. So I told myself, I don't know if I really call it promise or something, but I said, if I ever get that chance for another title shot, be damned if I'm going to take it light and the easy stuff. And if I win it, I'm going to do whatever I need to keep it. And I want to, not only that, I wanted to make that belt mean something again, like it did to me. I wanted everybody else in the whole state of Georgia to recognize Georgia Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. And I took the belt on the road. I had the blessings of the office and owners of GCW to anywhere I went to make it that match a title match. And I did. I won. September 30th, 2023. I beat a very, very talented Hollywood Hunter James for my second title reign as a Georgia Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. Took it everywhere, put it up against some of the best around, and but by the grace of God, I won, kept that belt. Because I've said it a lot of times in my promos, you can watch, go back. I had an addiction, and that being that champion, holding that belt, what was my addiction, and I did everything possible to retain that championship. For 427 days, I had the honor and the privilege to be your Georgia Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. That all changed November 30th, 2024. 427 days. Let that sit in. That was the second longest reign. The match was the final show for GCW's Star Wars. Friends bring the weapons, the last man standing. So it means pinfalls don't really count. Every pinfall, the person has to count 10 to get back on their feet to continue the match. Yeah. It being the holidays, family was in town. My son and my grandson was there, so just having them there made my pride level go a little higher, because I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to lose and look like a failure, not just in front of the fans, but family too. And yeah, I knew things weren't going in my favor. When the match, when I went to Superplex Sean Nelson onto some chairs in the ring, and he countered it, shoved me back, and I took a hard hit, and my neck snapped. And I felt pain go from my neck down to my arms, and numbness, and kept feeling for a while. I knew that wasn't good, but when I looked up and saw one of my wrestling sons, Jerry Now was there. This is the same man who beat me for the Brass Knuckles Heavyweight Championship, because he knows how hard-headed I am, and how stubborn and how determined I was to not lose his belt. And he tried to talk some sense into me, and I pushed him off. I got up, I kept going, and then the ties took another turn on me and got speared into a door in the corner, and my neck snapped again. And if you see the video, you can honestly tell at that particular moment I wasn't there. My body was, but me, I was done checked out. Somehow I got out and I started getting up, and my other wrestling son. Now, I'm known to a lot of people as Uncle Chair and stuff, but there's a very, very, very few small in my circle that call me Dad. Chris Nels came down, and if you know, he was on the bad side with Sean Nelson. He tried to talk some sense into me, and I pretty much told him to go to hell. Yeah. Just came out of that. And I can't say nothing but bad about Sean Nelson. We both signed up for this match, and we know it's about winning stuff. And I know it got to the point where he was starting to feel bad for the beatdown he's giving me, but it is what it is, and the only way he could have won is if I don't get up. So he kept knocking me down and knocking me down, and yeah. And then he apologized me on a trash can, and so my neck and I went out against stuff. And the faint distance, I can hear Jerry and Chris tell him, just stay down, Dad. Stay down. But I kept hearing the fans say, go, Terry, go. I was the people's champion. I couldn't let them down. So somehow I was trying to get back up. But I knew things went from bad to worse, I guess you could say. When I heard this very familiar, firm, but fair voice, and a soft, gentle hand on my chest, and then that was my son saying, "Pops, you was a great champion. You need to rest. Please stay down." And he kept on telling me, stay down. So I did. What was the reason? I didn't realize, I didn't think this through all the way through. My pride and my stubbornness, but I think one of the reasons my son helped decide to try to get in my head and convince me this, I had a good run, was later afterwards when I was told that several people went to check on my grandson. Because it was starting to affect him, and not in a good way. I had a good run. I had the honor and privilege to be your Georgia Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion for 427 days. Go down the books as the second longest reigning champion, and at the age of 55, I've been told that I was the oldest reigning defending champion. So I guess you could say that's the first, but I'm saying if he ain't first, he'll last. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone asked me, do I have another title run? I mean, and I don't know if I have. Between time and father time, only time will tell. I don't know, but I don't know where this is going, but just know that being your champion meant a lot to this old man. I hope this wasn't too much of a ramble, stuff like that, but yeah. Let's see this. The good folks at Georgia Tips Wrestling did a nice write-up for me after the match stuff, and kind of made me look and sound better than probably what it was, but I'm very grateful for the write-up. So I just want to kind of get my phone here and read through this one. And so the year of the Lawler, September 3rd, 2023, Terry Lawler began his second reign as GCW Georgia heavyweight champion by throwing Hollywood James, Bucky, Georgia. This reign has been significant because no other champion has defended the title in more federations than Lawler did during his 427-day reign. Lawler immediately defended at the following GCW event, and again just weeks later at the George Gray Memorial Show event in Franklin, Georgia. Before closing out 2023 with successful events at GCW's Thanksgiving Star Wars event. 2024 kicked off with a huge defense at the NAWA Dillard's reunion show in Rome, Georgia, was quickly followed by a successful defense at Disruptor's Lawler's hometown of Beaufort, Georgia, in primetime wrestling in Rome, Georgia. Even more defenses at GCW events in March, April, May, and July were successful, followed by a big defense in Sugar Hill, Georgia for SVW in August. September 2024 saw 4 successful defenses with bouts at GCWF in Rockmore, Georgia, and double shot of defense at Nerdview in Commerce, Georgia, and RCW in Chatsworth, Georgia. On September 21st, followed by a 2 out of 3 falls contest test with Shawn Nelson on September 20th at the GCW's October show. Saw Terry defending in a handicap match which ended with no contest, with neither he nor Nelson could enter the 10 belt. Closing out 2024 in his reign as champion, Lawler picked up a winner of Steve Ray Faust at Premier All-Star Wrestling on November 16th. On Saturday, November 30th, his historic year plus reign as champion came to an end as he was upset by Shawn Nelson and a violent last man standing for fans bring the weapons match. Terry's reign would go down in history as the second longest in history and most successful of the modern age, as his 427-day reign saw him defend against all challengers in many different promotions. Thank you, GCW, for those kind words and a history lesson and coverage of my title defense stuff. Like I keep saying this, thank you for having me as your champion. And as Poops and Pops like to say, peace, love, see you.